books right now.
Incredible. There's
There it is.
There it is, right there.
With a black eye.
This is in the blurb, so this tells you something. Can I read this? And I just want to make sure factually that this is correct. He is also the same man who got kicked out of the police department, fire department, and as an EMT before getting 2 women pregnant 4 days apart and finally been beaten up by his special forces colleagues for, quite simply, being a selfish asshole, quote unquote.
Yep,
that's all.
Yep. Oh, there is a part missing there where the 2 women were pregnant. I thought I had AIDS.
Jesus.
So
who are the 2 women?
Two amazing moms. I have two daughters that are in college that are superheroes, amazing moms. Like this was pre my wife. This was like peak fighting era. I think
4 days apart.
The girl. So I made the babies 4 days apart.
Okay.
The girls ended up being about 3 weeks apart.
God, how did you handle that?
That was a mess. Not with grace. Definitely not.
Did they know about each other?
Oh yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That might be dicier than being in Afghanistan with the poop up to your chest.
No doubt.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's a moment where I'm standing in Morro Bay, California. It's in the Central Coast, about 15 minutes away from where Chuck Liddell and Dan McGee, Glover Teixeira, current light heavyweight champion, fighting this weekend.
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
Old training partner. I was with him when he was a purple belt.
Wow.
Dude, he was good then.
An OG who's still kicking
so
it.
hard.
Yeah.
Man. Standing on the coast, on the beach, taking all my clothes off, taking my pager,
yeah,
dropping it down on top of my clothes, putting my keys on top of those because I don't think I'd ever need them again, and just start swimming due west in the Pacific Ocean into the fog. And
that was it?
I didn't know. No.
Okay.
It's complicated.
Okay.
Like, I needed a baptism. I needed a baptism. The water on the Central Coast is maybe 53, 54 degrees.
How old are you?
I'm 21.
Are the kids born?
Girls are pregnant.
Okay.
Think I have AIDS.
Why do you think you have AIDS?
Had a soiree after a fight with a bunch of ring girls, and one of the ring girls walked into Slow Kickboxing, which was like the parent gym to the Pit back in the day.
Yeah.
And she was like, hey, I'm trying to find these people that were like here this night, and I think one of the guys fought. Yeah, Ono's right. I was like, hey, that was me. Hey, what's going on? And she's like, were you there that night? And that kind of stung a little bit because I was like, man, I thought I left a pretty good impression, Apparently I didn't. That stung. And she's like, so I'm trying to find my partners because I tested positive for HIV.
Oh my God.
Yeah, oh my God is right.
And the 2 girls are pregnant.
And the 2 girls are pregnant.
And so you're just going in the water and saying...
Swimming, man. I just need to get my mind right. And I just started swimming. And we're a swimmer family. Dad, Olympic level athlete. Brother, a monster in the water. So we grew up as kind of like fierce swimmers. My punishment would be like treading water with, 5-gallon bucket of that you stick on top of one of the water dispensers and just like letting that water, as we're treading water with whatever that is, 30 pounds over our head. So I'm swimming. I probably have like a 25, 28 minute open mile swim time. I've been out there about an hour, so that's maybe a mile and a half, 2 miles. I'm just like straight out from the coast in the middle of fog now. Morro Rock, which should have been slightly to the south of me, off to my left, I can't see. The coast, which you should be able to hear, the waves crashing, can't hear. There's a foghorn at the end of the breakers that's on the south side, west-south side of Morro Rock. That goes, can't hear that. Can't hear anything. The fog is doing weird things. It's refracting light, and I'm fairly certain I'm going to die. Like, I'm just treading water in this freezing cold water. I've been out there an hour, and I have no idea which way to swim now. And I hear like splashes, like, was that a rock? Was that a shark? And I'm like, this is all in the book in Scars and Stripes. Like this is early in the book, and this is not the lowest moment of my life. This is just a low moment.
Wow.
And I'm treading water, hypothermia, treading water, and I hear this like, as this boat comes up, a Coast Guard boat.
Wow.
A woman, an old woman, saw me walk into the water and swim naked. And she went and called. And the boat started going and just like moving through this fog so slowly with this captain with his legs hanging over the front of the boat, just dangling. And they put it in neutral. He hollers for them to stop. And he like just cruises up next to me. I'm sitting there treading water, and he's like, hey, what are you doing? And even in this moment, in my arrogance, like, what a piece of shit. I'm like, I'm swimming. No shit.
Yeah.
You know, why are you swimming? Let's get to the why of the matter. So I give him like this brief executive summary, this like aggregate of everything that's happening in my life right now. You know, the patriarch of my family, my grandpa is dying of emphysema. Every breath he takes is a little bit less than the prior breath. You know, my VTR 250, my motorcycle, I just crashed. I had these 2 women pregnant. I had very shortly lost my professional debut against Scott Hands of Steel Smith.
Wow.
And who I just fought a few weeks before that and beaten. And I walked in there like an arrogant prick thinking that I was going to do the exact same thing. And he blasted me with a cross and cut me open, and the doctor stopped it. So it was like a pretty bad moment. And he's like, I was going to offer you to get on this boat, but man, I'll just stay in the water if I was you.
Wow.
Like, so that sucked, right?
Yeah.
So I'm treading water, and I was like, yeah, this water's cold though. He like leans over. I see that.
Yeah. Oh my God, this guy's.
This is brutal, right?
Yeah.
So he like looks me dead in the eyes, and he's like, I'm gonna treat your life a little more respect than you have, and I'm gonna offer you at one time. Do you want to get out of the water? Nobody's gonna offer this again.
Right.
This is your one chance. And I was like, I would like that. So he throws down this like net off the side of this boat. And my hands were so frozen. They're so cold from this water. Like I could barely grab. I was like hooking, trying to climb up this Navy like hard rope. And he hands me this all wool Navy Coast Guard blanket. Have you seen them?
Yeah,
The
of course.
roughest
Yes.
material ever. And it felt like a million fire hot steel needles.
It's like
were
steel wool almost, right? Yeah.
Like stabbing me in my frozen shoulders. And it was like the best feeling ever because I was alive.
Right.
You know, like the pain was like there. And that was the beginning of me starting to figure out what I needed to do to not be such a piece of shit.
Wow. That was the turning point.
No, 9/11 was the turning point.
Right.
Yeah.
Because that was when you decided to go to the military.
Yeah. I was at the recruiters on 9/11. And,
If 9/11 doesn't happen, do you think this life doesn't happen for you?
Oh, I'm dying of AIDS or I'm in prison.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
So in a way, 9/11 changed the course of your life.
I mean, it changed millions of people's lives, right? Like,
but almost for you, it was like for the better in the horrible way of saying it. But like you were on a path to nowhere.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't go back and change anything.
Yeah.
If I could die of AIDS or, you know, like spend the rest of my eternity in prison for 9/11 not to happen, I would happily exchange those things.
Of course.
But, you know, like have you seen the picture of the falling man?
Yeah.
It's a famous photograph of this guy that just looks like
horrible.
He's weightless and timeless and motionless as he's descending down the side of the World Trade Center and jumping to his death because he decided not to burn alive. Like that, I watched that. So many of those people just jump and jump and jump, and every single one of them that jumped, it was just like this knife, and I had to do something. And I was at such a low point because all of this was happening at the same time that was kind of the beginning of me recognizing that I'm the biggest waste of life ever. And I don't know if I'm trying to compensate still, like why save our allies? Like the mission is so much more important than I am. Like I'm pouring myself into it. You know, like I started my own private school called Apogee, you know, an online mentorship program for young men called Apogee Strong. Like all of these are like you did this Venn diagram and you go back to like the core issue of this broken young man. All of these things touch that.
Wow. You mentioned that wasn't the lowest point. What was the lowest point?
So that's in the book too.
Okay. I don't want you to give away everything, so if you don't want to say